Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Yeah. Well done. Okay. So far, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2:04 p.m. There are 31 people who's logged on so far. Thank you for logging on. We'll start now. My name is Richard Wee, and from the firm of Richard Wee Chambers. We decided, nothing against the many people out there who seem to be blaming the former government, current government, Bar Council. I prefer to just try to move forward and try to do something positive. And this is my small way of contributing to my bar. So we decided to hold a series of webinars for the members to log on and maybe get some ideas. So last week we held a talk on the impact of the litigation process, followed by the impact on law firm and legal services. That topic we had on law firm and legal services, we had lawyers from Kelantan, Kedah, Langkawi, Johor, and Kuala Lumpur to give comments. A very interesting debate there. And on Friday, we had a discussion on impact on law firms in Klang Valley. As you know, there are many law firms in Klang Valley. So very interesting discussion, different problems, different situation, cash flow issues, business development, etc., etc. Yesterday, we had a big one. We had a discussion with two Bar Council and Sabah Bar presidents, respectively. Two presidents. That was a massive talk, went for more than an hour to discuss the impact on the policy of the bar and the Sabah Bar. Very interesting. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have three lawyers who are predominantly conveyancing lawyers to discuss about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on our Malaysia's conveyancing practice, particularly in Sabah, in Malaya, not Sabah Sarawak. Without further ado, this is the process that we will intend to do. I will first invite the three speakers to introduce themselves, maybe 1 minute each to introduce themselves, share with us who they are. Then thereafter, we start discussing on topics. All of you who have logged on, please feel free to leave your comments here. I see Puan Salva has already made a comment. Hi, Puan Salva. And then I see many friends log on. I see Kian Yu, thank you, Kian Yu. Ian Woon, thank you. Sharil, yeah, your husband is online. Thanks, Sharil. Dr. Shana Yong, hi, Doctor. Thank you very much for signing in, Dr. Shana. Michael Chia and a few other lawyers from my firm, Richard Wee Chambers, have logged on. We have 40 now. Thank you. Hope everybody had a good lunch. This is how we do it. We'll start now. So can I first invite each speaker to introduce yourself, starting with Sarah, followed by Sieh, Mann, and Hasni. Sarah, all yours. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you very much, Richard. I am Sarah Kambali. I am from Mah Wing Kwai and Associate partner, and I deal with real estate practice and sometimes do Sharia advisory as well. So I've been in practice for at least, this year should be my 13th year. By end of this year, it will be 13th year. My master is actually Richard Wee. So.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've been doing a lot of sub sales, and ever since I'm in Mah Wing Kwai, I learned more about developers projects. So I've come into that kind of full scenario of everything in real estate. I believe I still got things I can learn, but I think I've done most of what I need to know in conveyancing. And I am also a part of Selangor Bar Conveyancing Committee, and I occasionally drop in Kuala Lumpur Bar Conveyancing Committee for talks and things like that.
Well done. Keep it up. Sieh, Mann, can I invite you to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Chua Mann. So as you can see, I'm actually female, because a lot of people who know me on Lawyers Talk keep on thinking that I'm male. I was called the bar since 2001. So, but I'm I'm from Lim Soy and Gunting, and I'm a senior associate. I'm not a partner.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Hasni, orang Kedah, macam mana?
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. Saya Hasnifalina binti Hasanudin. Saya beramal di firma guaman saya sendiri di Ketuan Hasnifalina and Associates di Alustar Kedah. Dan untuk tahun ni saya sudah beramal lebih kurang 14 tahun. Boleh kata sepenuh masa dalam bidang conveyancing. Itu sajalah.
Thank you. Jadi, ladies and gentlemen, while this session is generally in English, and Hasni is actually, as you can hear, very eloquent in English, but Hasni and I and Sarah and I and even Mann may occasionally speak bahasa Melayu. Kita nak, kalau boleh kita lakukan dalam bilingual lah, kedua-dua bahasa. Jadi sekali-sekala kita mungkin akan menukar pertuturan bahasa kita kepada bahasa Melayu. Jadi apa-apa soalan pun, kalau ada soalan yang cik nak tanya, tuan-tuan nak tanya dalam bahasa Malaysia, teruskan. Kita akan cuba jawab. Okay, that was the introduction. Thank you very much to three speakers. Basically, ladies, this is the situation we are in, and this is the tone that I want to set for our discussion. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the way legal practice is running, and there is no doubt about it that one of the areas of practice, a sector of practice, is conveyancing, which has been heavily affected. Offices like the Land Office and I believe even Stamp Office, the LHDN Stamp Office, they're all closed. And Commissioner for Oaths are not permitted to operate, which makes it difficult for us to obtain their attestation and execution, affirmation, etc. So my first area we will discuss will be about the impact of the MCO and the pandemic on our practice now. What is your observation? So we'll take each of you maybe 3 to 4 minutes just to give an observation. Then thereafter, we will talk about the problems which the conveyancing sector is going through, our fraternity in conveyancing. Contohnya, the issue of POS matters, the Land Office matters, the MITI application, how we're going to apply for MITI application, etc., etc. So we'll do that, and the tail end at about maybe 2:35, 2:45 onwards, we'll discuss about the future of conveyancing. Maybe each of you can give your ideas, mungkin nak bagi apa-apa pendapat ke, idea-idea yang boleh kita cuba untuk melakukan, blah blah blah. Okay? And then maybe the last 5-10 minutes of the session, we try to do a Q&A with our people signing. Okay? Boleh ya?
Alright.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 44 people logged on so far. Thank you very much to the people logged on. We'll start with this. Sarah, would you like to share with me, with all of us, your observations so far? What have you observed? The immediate impact of the MCO on conveyancing. All yours.
Thank you very much, Richard Wee. Okay, the immediate impact. Let's start off with how the MCO started, if you don't mind me recapping. Mula, we started off with only 14 days. If everybody can remember that, it was only, I can see Hasni smiling, only 14 days. All of us were thinking, okay, 14 days we'll be coming back to office. You know, conveyancers, okay, I'm sure litigators have their own way, sets of how they work. But conveyancers, we have our deadline with government bodies. I would like to call them real estate stakeholders. For me, that's what I call them. This includes Land Office, Stamping Office, JPPH. All these people are stakeholders of the real estate. So these people is responsible for how we move our conveyancing files. So the first 14 days, okay lah, 14 days, seronoknya, duduk rumah, buat kerja, no cause of panic at all. No problem. Okay, but I had a few that needed to be drafted. Draft SMP. Ding dong with the other side lawyer. We can still work. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But after the 14 days, before the 14 days end, we had an extension. The panic started to seep in. I think most conveyancers dah mula rasa bahang, because my observation is that agents will start pushing. And I'm not blaming the agents. They are actually doing their work. As much as we want to do our work, we can't do our work as well. We try to explain lah, right? Then okay lah, fine. After explaining, they lay down for a while. Some of them, all right? Yeah. Then the third one came up. With a confusion that government boleh operate, then boleh conveyancing punya and corporate boleh cooperate. Oh wow, the WhatsApp messages that came in, not only from agents, there are a lot of people coming in my phone. So this MCO has been, as much as we want to say, do not panic, in our legal practice, at least my observation for conveyancing, most of us are panicking because this is our livelihood. We don't know anything else to do. I don't know about you all, but I know conveyancing has always been my first thing whenever I go to office. This is my skill. Without it, without the stakeholders, real estate stakeholders being operational because they're not essential service, we can't do anything. We can't move. As much as we want to move, we can't move. Okay, fine, we can deliver the documents and all, but there's no one to approve it, no one to present it, nobody to do everything else. So I think that's my observation. We do go cause of panic because our practice is on a halt. So that's my take.
Good observation. So basically, thank you, Sarah. I think nicely you put the observation on the 3 stages of the MCO and how it has impacted your behavioral pattern. At the beginning, it was steady and calm. Then later on, concerned because all your stakeholders are close. And then now the fake euphoria, boleh ke tak boleh buka, tak tahu lagi. So we'll see how it goes, isn't it? Yeah. So Sieh, what is your observation so far? Pertaining to your practice itself, looking at your practice, your law firm, what has the impact been to your practice and your law firm? Your observation.
Okay, my observation is that I'm a senior associate, so I'm not a partner. So I feel very sorry for 3 of you and all the bosses, because without us attending to clients, we can't get any payment. So convincing the one thing that is about convincing is more to do with face-to-face, personal touch. It's not something that you can get a robot to do. Clients, private and confidential issues, that's why we always ask clients, if possible, go to our office, see us, and anything, we'll sort it out in the room. And we don't do it through email or whatever if we can. But now we have to do it. I'm able to draft agreements. And the one thing that I've discovered is that a lot of conveyancing lawyers are much more friendlier during this period. I would have to say that we are very cooperative. We will not like, I insist on this, I insist on that, pre-MCO. I think we all know that if we do that, our clients will go, fine, I'll just terminate the agreement, and then that's it. I'm not paying my lawyer anyway, and then a lot of times is that we haven't even gotten initial fees and disbursement yet. We will already have started doing some work. So we try not, so frustration is the biggest issue. We are very scared that contracts will just be frustrated just because of that. And I always tell clients, look, be very, very, be nice to your buyer or be nice to your seller, because everyone is in the same boat. It's unprecedented, as we've been saying this word, unprecedented, right?
Yeah, it's really unprecedented. I think whatever we are going through, nothing would have planned us for it. Nothing would have prepared us for this. Kita macam mana kita plan pun, kita fikir strategi sebagai peguam, sebagai tuan punya firma, rakan kongsi, tak pernah kita dalam fikiran kita, dalam hati kita akan fikir, satu hari lagi aku akan tutup dalam rumah aku 30 hari tak boleh keluar. So what do I do? That is something nobody would have thought of. Yeah. So Sieh, I think you put it very nicely from the practice point of view, right? Jadi Hasni, it's free to speak in English and Malay, by the way, Hasni. What do you think? I mean, what is your observation on the impact so far for conveyancing practice in towns like Alostar, which I think would have fairly similar character with towns like Kota Baru, Kuantan, Johor, Kulim, Batu Pahat. All these towns have similar character. So I think whatever you go to, I think many conveyancing lawyers are going through the same thing. Would you like to share with us your observation?
Yeah, which I agree with Sarah just now. and also another panel. Okay, like in Kedah, buat masa sekarang masih firma-firma semua masih ditutup, dan saya rasa mungkin tidak ada firma yang bercadang untuk buka, walaupun ada sebelum ni ada orang kata apa, permohonan yang boleh kita buat melalui meeting untuk dibuka. And then yes, memandangkan you buat conveyancing, buat conveyancing, kita kait rapat dengan agensi-agensi dan jabatan-jabatan kerajaan, dan sekarang mereka juga tidak boleh beroperasi, terpaksa ditutup buat sementara. Jadi of course dari segi pendaftaran, dari segi stamping documents, walaupun bagi hasil dibuka, tetapi saya rasa buka dengan pergerakan yang terhad. Jadi still kalau let's say kita stamp our documents, kita tak boleh nak register juga dekat land office. Jadi there's no point. Okay, and then saya nak share pengalaman apa yang saya buat untuk sepanjang PKP ni lah. Okay, sepanjang tempoh PKP kita masih menerima instruction daripada klien. Ada klien yang masih berhasrat untuk membuat pembelian hartanah, kan, jadi kita masih terima instruction baru daripada klien lah. Cuma sekarang sebagai lawyer conveyancing, disebabkan urusan-urusan dengan pihak agensi ataupun pihak kerajaan yang tidak boleh kita lakukan buat sementara waktu, jadi kita hanya boleh buat apa yang kita mampu buat. Maksudnya kalau dari segi drafting agreements, kan, kita minta instruction dari clients, and then minta all the particulars, drafting the agreement, we vet the agreements, and then attend to emails daripada mungkin lawyer dari pihak lagi satu dan daripada pihak institusi kewangan contohnya. Jadi pada masa yang sama kita ambil peluang ini untuk tengok balik kes-kes kita yang kita telah buka file sebelum ni, and then kita tengok apa yang kita boleh buat dan kita buatkan dulu. And then untuk those yang macam files yang kita tak boleh nak proceed, kita tengok apa yang tindakan yang kita perlu buat dan mana file yang perlu diberi priority sebaik saja PKP ni berakhir. Jadi untuk conveyancing lawyer, kalau you cakap tentang apa yang kita boleh buat sekarang ni, memang tak banyak perkara yang kita boleh buat lah. Okay, alright. Nampaknya kita pun dah terlekat dah, we are stuck here left or right. Our clients wants us to do something fast, like Mann and Sarah mentioned about property agent. Sarah, I think agent is chasing. I think betul tak Hasni kalau aku katakan even bank pun tengah mengejar deadline kita juga, kan? Ya, betul. Sama juga dengan kalau I boleh share pengalaman kawan-kawan peguam-peguam lain. Ada setengah yang kita faham bahawa masa sekarang kalau you prepare agreement, mungkin ada pihak yang mencadangkan untuk you buat satu teleconference untuk attend tanda tangan melalui teleconference lah. Okay, tapi kita juga perlu berhati-hati sebab kita walaupun kita rasa benda tu adalah satu kemudahan yang mungkin menyenangkan banyak pihak, tapi pada masa yang sama kita perlu fikirkan dari segi implikasi, kan, sebab bila kita buat conveyancing ni actually kita deal dengan ketepatan documents tersebut, dengan ketepatan pihak-pihak yang nak enter into the agreement, which is party to the agreement. And then kita nak memastikan bahawa tanda execution dilakukan dengan rela hati. Jadi walaupun melalui teleconference tu nampak sangat mudah dan boleh mempercepatkan at least untuk buat pada masa sekarang, tetapi saya kira banyak faktor lain yang perlu dilihat semula bagi memastikan tidak ada masalah timbul di masa hadapan. Jadi saya harap pihak-pihak yang yang lain boleh ambil macam orang kata faham apa yang sedang berlaku sekarang. Jadi saya rasa semua orang faham, cuma semua pun nak bekerja. Lawyers pun kalau boleh, kita pun tak nak dalam kat rumah, kita pun nak pergi office, kan.
Ya, betul.
Kalau macam kalau macam kata buat masa sekarang, kita boleh buat apa yang setakat kita boleh buat sahaja. Tapi yang lain kita terpaksa hold dululah sampai keadaan betul pulih dan kita balik bekerja seperti biasa.
Well said. I think you have clearly epitomized the current feelings among the conveyancing lawyers. Memang perasa macam tu. Okay, I think good start. At least we can feel all of us are going through some difficulties. We have had some questions coming in already. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 60 people logging on at one time. It's now 57. Now 58. It's up and down. And if you have any questions you want to ask, ladies and gentlemen, just put up on the comments. We will put up, as you can see now on the screen. We are sharing the comments by Richard B. Chambers. Every now and then we will put up an interesting question that the speakers can try. Now, let's go straight to the meaty issues, speakers. Now, what so far have you all observed? And maybe while observing, you can straight away offer some ideas on how to resolve your way of observing, and your way of solving your case on some of the issues related to the conveyancing practice. So, for example, contohnya, how do you go around land office close? How do you go around our stamp duty matters stuck? Keadaan berkenaan dengan bank. How do you sort out the bank? Then the big problem with the POS. Sarah, you told me to raise this point, the POS matter. So these are issues maybe each of you can raise and then start giving some ideas. To be fair, ladies, it's only 2:25. We don't have that much time to discuss. This topic can go on for hours, but we'll try to finish off at about 3:15. Okay? So Sarah, can I invite you? What have you seen so far are the specific problems you are going through in your firm at Ma Wing Kwai? By the way, hello to everybody in Ma Wing Kwai, my former law firm. Miss you guys. Maybe you can share with us what you go through and maybe you offer some of your ideas of how you intend to solve it. All yours, Sarah.
Thank you, Richard. Well, there's a lot of problems going on, as we all know, especially for conveyancers. The problem lies with the fact that the real estate, I repeat, the real estate stakeholders, I repeat again, land office, stamping office, government valuers, these are the people who are the main ones, developers even. They are the main ones that are involved in our conveyancing practice. Without them, we cannot move, we cannot advise the bank to release, we cannot do all those things. What we are limited to do now is sale and purchase agreement signing. And I think just now, we just missed, Richard, was there a question whether the SPA security witnessed by the lawyers? I can answer that right now. They are valid as long as we go back to contract. Contract is offer, acceptance, consideration. That's all. We go back to the contract. Don't make it complicated as MCO. It comes back to that. And that means it's valid. Whether it's stamped or not, it's valid. If both parties have signed and everything has been done, it's valid. Time runs. That is your problem. It's not whether it's valid or not. It's whether or not you can do it within the time frame that has been given in the SPA, in the security, in the letter offer. Your letter offers from bank more often than not 120 days. Mana ada you kena minta for extension, betul tak? You need minta extension, special too. So all these are problems. Okay, these are the problems. It's valid. That question, thank you very much. It's valid. Unfortunately, being valid, time is of the essence. And force majeure, I just covered this last week. Force majeure, you tengok balik your clause force majeure. It has nothing to do with MCO.
Pandemic.
It doesn't. And then you tengok balik how it was made. In the time of essence, zaman dulu kala lah ya, force majeure ni dijadikan sebab property runtuh ke, ada earthquake ke, ada riot ke kat property tu not livable, but not on the event. So people are getting confused. When you look at the force majeure clause, you ingatkan, oh force majeure, ada force majeure, kita boleh guna, yay. You tengok balik your event in the force majeure. Dia kata act of God, dia kata government take over, tapi it's on the property, not on your transaction, not on the way you're moving your work. Okay, these are the problems. I'm presenting problems first lah, yeah. So these are the problems that we are going through, yeah. And more often than not, it becomes frustration, like how Mann mentioned, frustration. So we have to look into whether this MCO really frustrate the whole transaction. Okay.
Yep, correct.
Now, kita take a view of one SMP yang dah sign. I do have an SMP and baru just signed before the MCO.
Oh, so you're doing a case study now. We're doing a case study. Example of a SMP that is a sub-sale SMP.
Yeah, sub-sale SMP.
Very good. So let's do a case study. SMP, so go ahead.
Okay, subsale SMP, it has consent to apply. Vendor ada lawyer sendiri. I'm representing the purchaser. So waiting for the vendor punya confirmation of consent untuk keluar. And this was a month before, like 2 weeks before the MCO lah. Okay, before the whole thing becomes stagnant, nobody is working, nobody can work. It's not that they want to work, nobody can go back to office because they're not essential service. All right, so now I'm stuck at the consent issue. So once the MCO is lifted, again I repeat, 14 hari okay lah. Sekarang dah berapa the third MCO dah. So once it's lifted, subsale SPA, insyaAllah, no problem. If both parties really want the property, seorang nak beli, seorang nak jual, then nothing has changed, then they probably will extend the time. But it's negotiation between two parties. So me as a lawyer, I have to negotiate for them. So that's the subsale part lah. So there's a lot of other issues. Yeah. But I think I will let maybe Hasni share one for her part pula.
I think good start because I like the way you put it, Sarah. I think we have 72 people. It's gone up to 72 now. I think everybody dah finished eating lunch or coming in to watch. Yeah. I like how Sarah you put up an example. I think that makes it easier to understand. What if we that was a good case study. Sieh Mann, so far, sorry, excuse me. What are the kind of problems you go through? Auction cases. Terrible lawyers on the other side.
I think I'll answer this one.
Yes.
You said the SPA signed
the
before.
The question from Shireen Ding, right? Yeah.
Said SPA signed before MCO deadline for CKHT submission, right? I think the LHDN is already extended. Yeah, so I don't think there's an issue for that.
Is there anything on the Bar Council circular on this?
No. It's by LHDN itself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So they have announced that it can be extended. All right, good. So Shireen, if you're listening, Shireen, apparently, according to Ms. Sieh Mann, one of our panel speakers, she understands that LHDN have already opened. What's the word? Open, extended. Extended. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Not mistaken, yeah.
Go on, Sieh Mann. Can you speak a bit louder, Sieh Mann? Share with us maybe some of the problems you are going through and then how you intend to solve it.
Okay. Okay. I have a few with regards to agents. All right. I think everyone who's doing conveyancing has the same problem with agents. All right. So a lot of agents, they will collect what you call the earnest deposit. And then they will keep the earnest deposit, which is part of their commission. And then it's only the company will only issue payback to the agent after the transaction is finalized. So before this MCO, I'm a very pessimistic person. Okay, usually I will tell clients, if possible, place the earnest deposit in the lawyer's firm, the client's account, as stakeholders, right? And then they'll say why. Agents will definitely say why. And then I'll go like, oh, because we're responsible, under LPA and all that. So I think before MCO, I had about 3 cases whereby the agents agreed to do that. And thank God they did. Because my clients later on told me, my goodness, now the agents themselves are closed.
Ayo.
Yeah.
And because of financial situation, what if they actually close down the company? I won't even get back my money if, let's say, this whole transaction is not successful. So I would have to say that I did save some clients' cases, but not everyone has is that accommodating. So I think this will be an issue after the MCO is lifted.
The issue pertaining to the agent, is it?
Yes, the agents, and then people are scared that where is their money going to, because it's not held by their lawyer.
Yeah, it's held by the agent. Yeah,
it's held by the agent. Second thing, I think as I said earlier, I think the problem now with banks are actually open. So they are essential and we are not. And then they keep on chasing us to advise for release of loans when we can't actually go and do registration. If you say for those cases without individual title, you still have to get what you call the developers.
Notice
You
of
have to
assignment.
still send the notice of assignment, or you have to get it endorsed for commercial properties.
Yeah.
So unless the banks are willing to change their how do you say, the SOP as well, we can't actually do anything.
Yeah.
And then the borrowers are like panicking. Oh, I can't get my money and all that. So that's
But the lawyers
actually
can move. We are stuck, isn't it?
can't.
It's
So
a
yeah. And
what a
then the third
situation.
one is the third one is the POS. I think before we even had this talk, I think some of my friends were talking about it, especially those that have to do with I think court auctions and anything to do with the NLC. There's a fixed time limit, deadlines, big issue. I
Big
think for
issue.
conveyancing, deadlines are the biggest issue.
Mm.
So I do know of banks who, in the end, if let's say they're paying for proceeds, right, they also have to somehow soften their approach,
Mm.
how to release the loans, so that they can actually fulfill. Because some of the banks who the land officers, the auctions, according public auctions, they have this deadline which they can't actually extend for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So
Very
far, I
sad.
mean, like to be fair, I'm sure Hasni is going to say later, kita ni beribu-ribu problem. There are a lot of problems we can raise. Like I said, I told my friends, this topic kalau kita buat full blown, sampai besok pun tak boleh habis. You know, so many things to deal with. Yeah, but we'll try to go. So I like how you address straight on the issue of the stakeholders' money. I think it would have been better and easier if all the clients just deposit the money with lawyers. But I must say this, you know, we lawyers, I know it's only 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000 case, but there will always be the one lawyer who take money and run away. So this has caused erosion of trust with us. And then even though the agents have their own problems with people taking away money, but when lawyer run away with money, the case diperbesar-besarkan, you know. And that's because of the seriousness of our work. So I think that's one of the problems. But I like how you said it, Sieh Mann, that you know it would be better with us to be held by us, no issue. Secondly, I like how you dealt with the imbalance and the inconsistent reaction between the bank and what we are going through. I understand the bank have their own SOPs and their own what they call these KPIs. But we are unable to do it, not because we don't want to, it's not that because we don't care, but just because we can't. We just can't do it, you know. So sometimes I don't understand, how do we tell these people that, you know. Okay, we'll come back to you, Sieh Mann, later. Cik Hasni, so Hasni kat Kedah tu, so far from your firm, boleh tak bagi contoh-contoh masalah, dan kalau boleh apa-apa maybe a proposed solution or some ideas, you know. All yours, Hasni.
Okay. Untuk macam kes yang saya handle buat masa ni, kebanyakan kita ada isu tentang completion. Itu sebab kes-kes yang dah berjalan sebelum ni, and then kita ada beberapa bulan untuk completekan, dan sekarang disebabkan keadaan ni berlaku, kita tidak boleh orang kata apa, semua urusan terpaksa terhenti seketika. Jadi untuk saya, apa yang saya buat untuk isu completion, sebaik saja PKP dikenakan atas semua rakyat Malaysia, saya update semua klien saya tentang progress of their files. At least diorang tahu kenapa kita tak boleh buat. Let's say kalau macam apa yang kita boleh proceed, for example untuk advice release dengan BPSA dengan bank, kita boleh advise masa tu, because let's say kita dah sempat register dokumen, so kita boleh advise lah, because bank dan BPSA masih dibuka. But then untuk kes-kes lain kita maklumkan kepada klien bahawa prosesnya sampai stage ini, dan kebanyakan klien saya semua baik hati, semua setuju untuk extend, dan semua tu kita ambil instruction secara bertulis lah. Okay, and then tadi we mentioned about the POS, the proclamation of sale.
Yes.
Okay, of course, for the proclamation of sales, kita ada we having difficulty because normally the completion I think 90 days or 120 days.
Yeah, betul. Correct.
So jadi apa yang kita boleh buat, which ini pun I rasa semua orang pertama kali mungkin kita boleh cuba write to the bank, ask for the extension. Okay, because kita bukan secara sengaja ataupun secara suka-suka untuk minta extension. We have reason, you know. And then mungkin time tu kita dah nak release, but then we cannot do the registration for caveat, jadi kita tak boleh nak minta complete nak completekan dalam masa 90 ataupun 120 hari. Jadi what we can do, we just write to the bank, minta kebenaran atau minta discretion bank untuk bagi satu jangka masa yang sesuai lah bagi kita untuk selesaikan the balance purchase price. Sama juga if the lelong tu melalui pejabat tanah atau mahkamah, which saya rasa kalau ikutkan sebelum ni tidak semudahnya mereka bagi extension. Ya, cuma apa yang kita boleh buat juga, kita try minta daripada bank surat untuk persetujuan pada bank untuk melanjutkan tempoh pembayaran baki, dan kita boleh gunakan surat tersebut sebagai salah satu alasan untuk kita minta daripada mahkamah ataupun pejabat tanah kenapa kita nak mohon extension tersebut. Jadi saya rasa dalam keadaan sekarang semua orang faham apa yang berlaku, jadi at least kita boleh cubalah. Walaupun sebelum kita tak pernah buat kan.
I think Hasni, it's quite safe to say that for POS cases, there's definitely a procedural and legal challenges, because we all know how POS cases work. For those who are not aware, we're not talking about post Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen. Those who are maybe POS is actually the proclamation of sale, and this is pertaining to auction. Sarah, betul? Sarah?
Yes.
Auction cases, yeah. So this is just the language of the conveyancers. So Hasni, don't you think you would agree with me that because POS has a legal and procedural process, that is our biggest challenge, because that process never took into account the possibility of such an intervention like a pandemic, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So that's a problem that we're having, most of the lawyers is having now. So what we can do is we try to negotiate on to get the extension from the bank. Dan sekarang I rasa kalau kita in my opinion lah, kalau kita macam nak orang kata batalkan lelongan pertama just because of the completion yang tidak dapat disempurnakan oleh pembeli, then you have to start all over again untuk lelongan seterusnya. So I think macam it doesn't fit the purpose lah, you know.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I would like to just I'm actually sharing
something.
I'm sharing our live telecast here on the. Hang on, Sarah. I'll come to you. I'm sharing the live telecast here with my personal private Facebook page, and there's a comment, not a question, a comment from my friend from Negeri Sembilan, Mr. Pritam Singh. He says that the completion dates expired during MCO, but an unrepresented vendor insists on extension interest. Cannot present MOT though ready as land office tutup. So that is a classic problem a conveyancing lawyer is going through, isn't it? Yeah?
Yes.
Sarah, you want to add something to Hasni before I come back to Hasni? You put your hand up?
Yeah. Sorry. I just wanted to add just a happy news. I actually got someone who asked me about the POS. And that's why I shared with this with we all hari itulah to share about this story again about POS. And I got the happy news that the banks were quite positive. The ones that I had I had my friends had the problem. They were positive and they said just write in and start the notice permohonan as well. So they are fully on board. This bank is not the bidders bank, it's actually the auctioneer bank. So alhamdulillah lah. I think there is some banks were okay. I think there's some banks are not.
Okay.
Correct.
Siaman, you were saying?
Yeah.
Ini macam
my-
classroom sekolah no, cikgu. Yeah. Okay, Siaman, all yours?
Well, I have a friend who encountered a bank, an Ocean Bank, who refused.
Ayo.
Oh, God.
That bad. It was that bad. She already gave them reason, saying this and that, and they still refused.
So I guess the deal will be aborted then. It cannot complete.
Yeah.
She managed to do something, but it's really like it's very frustrating to hear things like that. It means
Yeah.
that they really don't. There are some people who really don't care.
I think one way, okay, ladies, Sarah will know that I'll come back to Hasni. Sarah will know that I do general conveyancing, and I'm nowhere near expert lah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm maybe 1 lah on conveyancing. But my off the cuff, my solution, and Sarah, my style, I like to think of solution instead of thinking of the problem. Maybe for POS cases, the potential buyer, subject to cash flow, maybe they can always maybe deposit the money with the bank as a fixed deposit first to show sincerity that the deal will go through, subject to, of course, all this subject to cash flow lah. Kalau the buyer have cash flow, they can say, look, Mr. Bank, I give you X money in the fixed deposit. You don't touch what is in your fixed deposit because my lawyers can't finish it, So maybe that's one way lah. So only when the buyer has cash flow lah. So back to you, Hasni. Any other comments in Kedah? Any other challenges in Kedah?
I rasa sama juga, lebih kurang yang
Same,
I dah
problems lah. Yeah.
And
Very
then one more
interesting.
thing, you mentioned about the interest. You mentioned about interest as well. Okay, so I think the same thing. Kalau kita boleh negotiate for the extension of the completion date, so we try to negotiate on the interest to waive lah from the other lawyers and from the other parties.
Interesting. But what I like about it that despite the three of you are in 3 separate states, Seman and Sarah are both in Selangor, but Sarah does a fair bit of Kuala Lumpur work. But I noticed all 3 of you more or less have the exact same problem. Whereas when I spoke to the litigation lawyers, it is evident that while generally things are the same, but some states have different issues and different challenges. And also different kind of litigation have different kind of problems. So contohnya, if you are doing accident cases, you're stuck because they cannot finish the case. If you're doing criminal matters and your client is no remand, your client is stuck in Sungai Buloh or Kajang or Taiping prison, they cannot come out. So and of course those who do civil litigation, they are stuck. The case cannot move, blah blah blah. So but generally I notice conveyancing lawyers have the same, more or less 70-80% same challenges. Okay, now let's go next step. Let's say if we talk about problems, sampai besok pun tak boleh habis. So let's go to the next step. Sieman, this one we try to go with you first. You are the queen of circular. Those who know Sieman, you will see that every day she'll forward circular. So in fact, Sieman, you should start a chat group and transfer to everybody and charge people for forwarding this document so you can earn some money.
I've been saying that to all my friends. I said it's because you're my friends, so I get the free advice and free updates.
Those who are listening to this video launch, we have 80 people now. Sieman every day diligently will forward whatever circular information to everybody. So the 3 of you, maybe start with Sieman first. From the Bar Council circulars and the circulars from LHDN and whatnot, what have you seen things are being done to resolve the current problems? Maybe you can pick 1 or 2 examples, Siaman. All yours, Siaman.
Okay, well, actually just now we were talking more on sub-sales and bank loans, all right? But we haven't really touched on developers' project work. So you see, projects are also very peculiar. It will depend on whether it's commercial or is it under housing development. So as most people, if you buy residential property, of course, it will come under the HDA. And if you're buying like shops and all that, it will come under commercial. So most people will say it's standard. And then we know that it's not if you're buying commercial. So I will even say that this is a bit of side thing. HDA, right, hasn't really, I think they have changed recently, but
Okay.
I haven't really been doing project very recently. But what I do know is that there are things like time limits and all that. Again, deadlines. That there's this problem, deadlines and deadlines and deadlines. So I guess the ministries who are dealing with HDA will probably have to
Change the
do
thing. Yeah.
something, change the thing.
Mm.
By the way, on side note, have you all noticed that there's no definition for working days in the HDA?
Yeah.
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 So if you think about it, now that everybody is closed except for the banks, the working days are still going on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
So developers are also undergoing this problem. If you're talking about sub-sale, then we also need to look at, as you say, force majeure does not actually, as Sarah said, it does not look at the workings, the operations, right? So
The
I
events.
think all lawyers should relook their previous sub-sale agreements, and probably will have to draft a clause to provide for something like this.
Mm. Interesting. You know, I'll come back to you again, Mann, Hasni and Sarah. Recently, a circular, which by the way I got from the Bar Council
Mann.
and Mann, circular number 084,
Yeah.
issued by Dato' Roger Tan, a friend of mine, who is the chairperson of the Conveyancing Practice Committee. So members of the bar, if I were you, whether you do conveyancing or not, I recommend you strongly to read circular number 084 from the Bar Council. It actually gives a list of so-called FAQs. Can a solicitor witness the signing of a document by video conferencing? Section 334 of the 338 of the National Land Code issues, blah 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 blah. You know, this example of the circulars that has been coming out. Sarah, have you received any circular from LHDN and Land Office which you may want to share? Any other circulars? Any updates? Sarah?
Okay. Okay. The update on circulars from LHDN. Recently, they had extended until 31st May 2020 based on the fact that we had a third extension of MCO. I'm not sure if we extend again. Nauzubillah, kalau kita extend lagi, probably they will extend again lah. It's that because it serves no purpose for them to collect from us either. Okay, all these things. So LHDN has agreed to extend the stamping penalty ke atau any payments that we made be extended until 31st May. That's I know about LHDN lah. For Land Office, the last circular I got is from Selangor, which had actually extended the cukai tanah to be paid until June 2020 instead of extension lah June 2020 extension sampai August tak silap I. Kena tengok balik circular tu, tapi memang dia extend lagi 2 bulan. So all this is based on the fact that the MCO has affected the livelihood, the working and the essentials of everybody in Malaysia and all over the world actually. So we can't really move. So coming back to your circular 084 from Bar Council, one thing we can take note from there is mostly we have to learn how to negotiate. A lot of us have to negotiate. That was why saya terpanggil. I was called and I had asked my team to start up a talk on Friday last week. It will be up soon in MWKA website. Basically on force majeure and also frustration of contract. Reason being is because our force majeure, like I said countless of times, does not focus on the event. It focuses on the effect of it on the property itself. So this force majeure and what is frustration of contract? How do we deem a thing being frustration of contract? If it's self-frustration, tak jadi frustration of contract. So these things are very, very important. Okay, so because we cannot macam rely on these two frustration and force majeure. You want to, but I don't think you can rely. So our first act, or rather my first act, would be balik office, buka satu-satu file, and try to find ones that really need some negotiation to be done. Negotiate with the other party. If they have lawyer, better still, speak to the lawyer. If they're not represented, means I'm representing the purchaser usually, and then the vendor is not presented. I have to speak to the vendor directly. This is very important. Negotiation skills have to be sharpened for lawyers. So if you think of 084 lah, yeah?
Yeah, very good. Well said, Sarah. I think people underestimate the importance and the power of the negotiation skills. You know, not call people say, "Hey, can lah, how can?" That is not negotiation. You know, but yeah, Hasni, from what we have seen so far, jadi kita tengok banyak komen-komen, banyak circular. Anything you can share with us from the state of Kedah? Is there anything peculiar which we can share, or even from the national circular? Maybe you can give comments about any proposed changes to the way we work. All yours.
Okay, actually for the state of Kedah, kita hanya tengok untuk for the expansion of the penutupan pejabat tanah tu sendiri, itu saja. So yang lain saya juga refer kepada Bar Council circular dated 1st April, and saya rasa daripada circular tu ada sangat banyak guidelines dan juga isu-isu yang menjadi kerisauan dan menjadi kebimbangan di kalangan peguam-peguam conveyancing semasa PKP berlangsung. Jadi di situ sekurang-kurangnya saya ucapkan terima kasih juga kepada pihak Conveyancing Committee Bar Council kerana mengeluarkan guideline, dan sekurang-kurangnya kita conveyancing lawyers tidak macam gila sangat lah. At least ada tahu macam mana nak buat sekiranya perkara macam ni berlaku sekiranya let's say because they mentioned about the POS in the circular as well, and then they're mentioning about the completion date, extension completion date, and then about the teleconference, penyaksian melalui teleconference.
Ada juga.
Semua telah di-highlightkan dalam circular, which is bagus lah. Actually memang saya pun sangat teruja baca the circular tu, sebab exactly menjawab semua kebimbangan kita dan kita punya concern regarding all the issue. Tapi betul apa yang Sarah cakap tadi, sebab this is a contract kan, signed by between the parties, the vendor and the purchaser. And then selalunya the terms and condition is already there, dan itulah yang kita selalu tengok. But then when it comes to pandemic seperti ini berlaku, keadaan yang di luar jangka ini berlaku, mungkin kita boleh apa yang kita boleh tengok balik ialah kita boleh tengok terms and condition yang dalam yang tertulis dalam perjanjian jual beli kita. Macam mana kita boleh memperbaiki ataupun untuk mewujudkan klausa-klausa yang dapat menyelesaikan masalah sekiranya berlaku lagi keadaan sebegini di masa depan. So saya rasa benda-benda macam tu yang sangat penting lah, yang perlu ditengok balik oleh peguam-peguam conveyancing. Dan yang lain lebih kepada negotiate, sebab the agreement pun saya rasa silent, kita pun tak pernah expect benda macam ni jadi kan. Because force majeure pun nothing to do with the MCO and the pandemic apa semua ni. Semua kita ingat perang ke apa semua macam tu kan. But then it comes to keadaan yang baru macam ni, it's actually satu keadaan yang kita perlu tengok balik lah apa yang perlu kita letak dalam agreements kita di masa depan.
Oh, well said, Hasni. I like it. I like how you explain. All three of you spoke very well. I'm going to try and summarize this before we go to the last stage of our Q&A. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, we've always had about 80 over, 70, 80. So we've got many people logging in and out. We're not finished yet. We still got another 5-10 more minutes. So far, to summarize our speakers, in terms of the current challenges, all three speakers spoke about receiving circulars from the relevant stakeholders. We are strongly advised to read the circular, understand the circular, and many proposed amendment many changes on the way we work in the circular. So all conveyancing lawyers and even normal non-conveyancing lawyers pun kena baca lah, if I were you guys. Then at the same time, we heard from the speakers talk about their respective challenges, issues pertaining to cannot go land office, stamp office. This has been well documented the last 3 weeks. The last 1 month. If you go on Facebook, every day there is a lawyer who's complaining about this. So you want to know the problem? Baca je lah kat Facebook, banyak komen sana. But basically, the closure of the stakeholders has affected our work, our sector. Then, but the lawyers like Sarah and Hasni and Sieh Mann have already proposed, especially Sarah and Hasni proposed, look, learn to negotiate, renegotiate your work. No contract is the end. We live in uncharted territories. We live in unprecedented times. Go talk to your opponent and your other side. Try to find a solution. There's always a solution, And really, worst comes to worst, if tak boleh, then abort lah. What to do, Kalau degil sangat, then okay lah. I see you in court. In 3 months' time, we see in court. So, like to me, if you ask me, if everyone degil, really bodoh lah. In the end, everybody lose out. So I can share with you ladies, there are some of people who are thinking, look, I got no money, I got no work, I can't do anything, I just close my company lah. You want to sue lah, I don't care lah. If things are that bad, and if someone think like that, if everybody think like that, how big is our economy?
Yes, sir.
Economy mati terus, So I think it's very important for us to negotiate again. We also, ladies and gentlemen, heard from the speakers the ideas on how to resolve the problem. Like Sarah gave the idea about the POS, talk to the bank. Even Sieh Mann said, look, the lawyers are now nicer to each other. Everyone is trying to find a solution. She gave ideas on how she resolved some of her work. Our Hasni spoke about what's happening in Kedah, and where parties are still figuring out what to do. They have given some ideas. So pretty good ideas. And my friend Dara Wahida just logged on. Dara, this is after the live recording finish. This will be permanently on the Facebook page. So just can go watch anytime after this. All right. Now, on the last part of our session, it's already 3 o'clock. Maybe we would like to give the 3 speakers a chance to summarize. What is your summary so far? What you think is going to be a problem? Most of the comments here are more of comments instead of questions. So we've answered Shireen's question just now, and earlier on we've also answered Liu MY's question also. And okay, Liu MW. Sorry, MY. And then Nur Faiza have got a comment, negotiate with the other side last Friday on the delivery of VP. So far so good, Alhamdulillah. Guys, we need to tolerate more during MCO. Well said. I think that is correct. So maybe Sarah, you can summarize so far. This is a summary. What do you think is going to happen, and what do you think to equip ourselves? I like how you say it just now. My skills are to do this. This is the only thing I can do, or this is what I'm good at. So moving forward, how would a conveyancing lawyer, in your view, need to equip themselves to get ready? Because I think things are going to get more difficult in months to come. All yours, Sarah.
Thank you, Richard. All right. As a summary, I think MCO has made us realize how small we are, but very important, but very small to move. Okay, very hard to move when things like this happen. So what I would suggest is that we have to start learning or going through or trying to figure out how to move with AI, artificial intelligence. As much as the dinosaur I am, okay, I'm saying I'm a dinosaur because even this Zoom thing I had to learn. I'm sure a lot of us had to learn. The youngsters, tak apa lah, I'm not that young. So we have to learn more on getting this forward. And when I say getting this forward, not only lawyers, the real estate stakeholders. Stamping office, no problem. We already started with e-stamps dah lama dah. Stamps dah lama, stamp hasil dah lama dah. We have the recent one, RM10 pun kita boleh guna, the stamps hasil. Okay. online. Tapi we need to, I don't think the word is push, but I think from MCO learn to make other real estate stakeholders to move forward as well. Use internet, use technology. I know Kuala Lumpur has done, Kuala Lumpur Land Office, they have done. It's still, some would say it's still on a testing stage, tapi they have started, at least one leg is in front. You know, they're not stopping and waiting sahaja. Selangor is also in the process. We have to give some credit to Selangor. So it's it's bigger than KL. But imagine KL taking so long of a time to get the AI done. So internet and technology is done. So Selangor will take some time. So my recommendation is to actually, one, to move forward with technology, get more things done online. Even in UK, we don't have title, yeah? We don't have that title, because I had one case with a client from UK. Their titles are all digitalized. Everything is digitalized. So we can move that way. NLC has been amended that way. It's just a matter of the land offices to follow. When I say offices, means every state, because it's not centralized. Yeah. So our problem as a stakeholder of one of the stakeholder, as a lawyer, we need other stakeholders to move forward with technologies as well. So on our end, we can perbaiki our agreements lah. From now onwards, tengok your force majeure clause, see if there's anything else that you need to amend. Yeah. So that will be me lah. That will be me coming
Good,
back
good.
to that.
Yeah, good. Moving forward is good. You are basically embracing technology. You are embracing new things to work on and making sure that we adopt to new working styles. Very good. I like the idea. Sieh, would you like to give your summary as we come to conclusion of our webinar?
Okay. A lot of people know how I feel about technology. I'm actually one of those people who do not have an e-wallet, right? So it's very surprising that I advocate for IT, but I myself is not using e-wallet. But basically, what one thing that law firms should actually have, and I think this was discussed yesterday in a talk with the bar president as well as with Sabah Bar
President,
right?
yeah.
I think there needs to be, firms need to have their own, what you call this, file retrieval system. So that if, let's say we have a pandemic, we can actually still do work at home. And then I think employers need to realize that not everyone can go and buy a computer. I think because I myself is a working parent, I also discovered that I don't even have enough computers for my kids to use for education purposes. So I think it's not just me, it's everyone that's realizing it. So I think this will be one consideration, one thing that employers can do, and then maybe to propose to the government with regards to tax deductions and so-called. Another thing is that as the real estate stakeholders, yes, they have to move on. If they don't keep up with the times, then we'll have a problem, because until now we still have to sign our charge forms, our transfer forms, all with black ink fountain pen. It's still stated in the NLC. So unless they change the laws related, we are still stuck in the same abyss that we are now in. So that's a very big problem.
I like what you say, Sieh, because on Friday we had a session on the impact of this pandemic on Klang Valley law firms. And the panelist, Mr. Wong Po Lim from Mercers Daniel and Wong, he said exactly what you said. He said we lawyers can buy the best computers in the world, and he spoke particularly about the government process. And he mentioned what you mentioned, land office. Say we can buy the best computer in the world, adapt AI, use this and that. But if the land office still requires us to use a black pen and go there physically, then it's useless.
Yeah, because
so actually,
like Australia, they're now doing centralized. Right?
Yeah.
And they are different laws in each state. and they're able to do it. So I don't see that why we can't do it. But that's all I can say, because I do not know the workings of the land office that well.
Yeah.
But I trust that after this MCO, they will
Yeah.
actually resolve this issue.
Yeah.
I feel that MCO is really, it forces everyone to change. No choice.
And also, I think most lawyers who do conveyancing, and I guess I can slightly say with a little bit more freedom than last time, is that we all don't want to piss off land office officers, but we respect lah. A lot of land office, the problem is not just the system, it's about the people behind the system. But bila kita comment, mulalah kena the firm get blacklisted and all that. I think Sarah knows when those days in my former firm with her, not Marvin Kwai before that, we were fighting land office, then kena lah blacklisted. So but things have to be done. Sometimes justice must be mentioned. Even if I cannot blacklist, but my client get protected, it's okay. Yes, Yaman.
Yeah. One more thing. Company Act has also changed, right? Even the SSM and all that, but still workings are also still not, how you say, up to date. I will have to say that for them also, because if you notice, I think even signings also, they require certain things. And I think this is happening with all the corporate lawyers as well. They are saying it's the same. You change to it, but if things are not changed with them, there's no point.
Yeah. Well said. Hasni, maybe you want to summarize, not just from your point of view in Kedah, but as a conveyancing lawyer, you work with PSDC. I know you travel to KL often. You contributed to the bar by being a volunteer in CPD things. From your global view, how do you think you can summarize the situation and moving forward?
Okay, I agree with some point raised by Sarah just now about the registration, about the stakeholders, especially the land office. Hopefully, we will have like e-registration, e-consent, e-search. So if anything happen in the future, something, if I say this pandemic or unexpected circumstances yang berlaku di masa depan, sebenarnya kita masih boleh menjalankan kerja seperti biasa sekiranya servis secara online telah diwujudkan dan memudahkan kerja banyak pihak, saya kira. Dan keduanya tentang satu kesimpulan yang saya boleh buat sepanjang PKP, saya rasa semua orang sekarang sudah pandai guna Zoom kan, pandai guna Easy Talk dan adalah I pun baru belajar, actually baru sekarang I pandai pun kan, sebelum tak kerja sangat. But then it save a lot of your time. Let's say kalau dulu you mungkin satu hari you boleh attend to 1 or 2 meetings sahaja, and then it will cost a lot of your time, and then you terkejar-kejar sana sini. But then untuk ke depan macam ada PKP, mungkin saya rasa ramai orang merasakan sangat praktikal untuk you hanya duduk di satu tempat, and then you meeting mungkin you boleh ada 5 ke 6 meeting dalam satu hari. It's very efficient. And you don't have to travel all the way to ke tempat meeting, and then you tak kelang kabut sangat lah. And then just now we mentioned about the agreements. Okay, salah satu apa yang perlu kita buat adalah untuk melihat balik kandungan terma-terma dan syarat-syarat dalam perjanjian kita, not only for our subsale, juga in our HBA maybe, kan, untuk mengelakkan apa-apa masalah berlaku selepas ini. And then sebenarnya kita dah mengalami keadaan sekarang dan kita tahu macam mana keadaan sekarang berlaku dan macam mana untuk kita atasi masalah tu. Dan pada masa yang sama saya nak ambil kerja pantai juga, sebab kalau selepas ni PKP habis, saya rasa semua orang akan berpusu-pusu menuju ke pejabat tanah dan juga menuju orang kalau boleh hari ni habis, esok nak register semua dokumen. Okay, just untuk highlightkan kepada mungkin ada yang di sini adalah klien clients atau purchaser, vendor, juga agents, kita nak maklum bahawa kita tidak boleh buat magic sebegitu, like macam kalau KP habis, esok kita still kena tunggu turn kan. Jadi it doesn't mean kalau macam tempoh habis PKP, case you boleh selesaikan dengan cepat. Tidak juga, we cannot promise such thing because you kena tunggu untuk pendaftaran, you kena tunggu, di situ akan, I tak tahu berapa lama kita akan start dengan di pejabat tanah saja membuatkan pendaftaran itu berlaku, and then kemudian you akan hantar advice to the bank, semua akan berlaku serentak. Okay,
it take time.
Yeah, it will take time to settle, but eventually it will settle lah. Cuma kena bersabar.
I like how you managed people's expectation, Hasni. Very good. Well said. It is true. Once we are released from the MCO, I think people still don't realize actually our life has changed. Until we find an effective medicine or effective vaccine against COVID-19, we will live like this for a long time. You know something, ladies, once we finish all this COVID-19 pandemic, whatever, and let's take example, now we are in bulan November this year, all we need is one case, and then we are all over again. We are stuck all over again, like what's happening in China. Some states in China are going through a second or third lockdown because one case, So I think we all need to accept that this is our life now until they find an effective vaccine. So well said, Hasni. Mann, I saw you angkat tangan. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, because she was mentioning about the land office. I think many of us forget, not only the land office, the company, SSM, right? LHDN. Imagine no social distancing.
How?
Yeah,
you're asking your dispatch to go, and what if one of them, for some reason, gets the COVID?
Habis.
So this is a big problem. I think that's why the our real estate stakeholders are taking so long to open as well.
Yeah,
because they're also having
very careful.
How to deal with it. Yeah, that's right.
All the government office like the Mahkamah, this land office, all can create new clusters. So after this, if it happens again, we cannot blame the tabligh lah. We have to blame the lawyers, So
don't.
Dispatch.
Janganlah, kesian.
Cabaran tu nak buat social distancing dekat pejabat tanah dan lembaga hasil. Very challenging.
Betul.
On the issue of the tabligh, ladies and gentlemen, before we come to an end, I find it funny. People tend to forget. In bulan January, masa kita bawah pakatan lagi, nobody knew the difficulties of COVID-19 yet. Everyone was asking Mahathir to close the thing and say, close, don't let the Chinese people come in. Then Mahathir was already waiting for comments, can or cannot close. People don't realize if you're not sure whether there is a danger, you cannot just close your border to one particular country. And that country will suddenly react against you. What if, let's say, it turned out to be wrong? What happened in January, we overreacted. 1st of January, we closed China. Mati terus, close, So only, I think, Mahathir announced we continue opening, and then one day later, he changed his mind. You know why he changed his mind? He received information from China. China told him, you have to close because we're in trouble. So immediately he closed. But everyone is blaming him. I don't understand. Then the tabligh one. Why? How are we going to blame the tabligh guys? When they went for the tabligh, they didn't know.
Yeah.
So they just went there for prayers. Tiba-tiba dia kena. So it's not that way lah. And then I find it very sad that we have people still blaming. Oh, what is this? You want to blame? I tell you what we're going to blame. I will blame all the way back to our former Prime Minister who stole money on 1MDB. Because of him, we are in financially difficulty now. You want to go back? We can, so people don't blame lah. Enough lah. I want to blame, we can go back. I will blame all the way to Najib. Causing all this problem in our country. Now, so so that is my political speech. I'm bar counsel. So Richard B, tak boleh tahan lah. Read up dah. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate the three speakers. What a good session. Can I invite everybody here? I think we had about 70, 80, 100 people. to give a cyber round of applause. Tepuk tangan to the speakers. Very well done. Very good. Very good. I think Sarah, as usual, you spoke with your firmness. You know what you are doing. You're trying to find solution. You face challenges. I know you are a bit scared to do public speaking, but you are going through this very well. Sieh Mann, I know you are one lady who knows every nook and crook. You know, you really know your stuff. Clearly, it showed. I think you should be a partner in your firm soon. Hint, hint. I hope your partners.
No need.
Thank you for sharing all your information. And Hasni, I can see now why you were so brave to set up your own law firm in Kedah. You clearly speak with authority. You are very eloquent, both in bahasa Melayu dengan bahasa Inggeris. And I like how you try to manage, including me. Said, look, bro, lepas kita buka, tak magic, yeah. So I like that. That's really good. It's very pragmatic. Ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, RWC is hosting a special session with our world champion Charlene Zulkifli.
Wow.
Charlene Zulkifli will be speaking one-on-one with me on the impact of this Covid-19 on national professional athletes. You know, the big impact of sports are dead. And tomorrow, Bar Council, with my deputy chairperson, Puan Moshida, together with two other lawyers, they are hosting a webinar under the Bar Council CPD program, talking about the exact same thing, the impact of COVID-19 on conveyancing. That will be speaking with different lawyers in different perspectives. I would recommend you all to sign on and watch that tomorrow afternoon. And also tomorrow, I think I'm not sure what time, but there is a session tomorrow hosted by Sabah Bar. Sabah Bar, and is together with the former Chief Justice of, hang on, tomorrow is at 11 a.m. tomorrow, live on Facebook. Sabah Bar hosting talk with Tan Sri David Wong, Dato' Lim Chi Wee, Alvin Leong, and Ranbay Singh of Sarawak Bar Chairman about the impact of the COVID-19 in the legal practice. From the judge's point of view, we've got one judge, retired judge there. So plenty of us to log around and watch, keep on keeping in touch. Alvin Kang, how do I sign on the Bar Council session? Go to the Malaysian Bar website, look for the CPD, or if you are a member of the bar, look for your circular, it's there, right? Or you go to the Facebook page of Malaysian Bar CPD, send a DM there and they will reply to you. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Sarah, Hasni, Sieh Mann, terima kasih. Please take care of yourself.
You too.
I think I'll end by saying this. We are living in very, very difficult times. And it is not the time to blame each other and get angry here and there. Like I say, for me, if I want to blame, there's one person I'll blame. And I hope he's listening to me here. So again, I think he will sue me for defamation after this. But the point is this: no use blaming. We're wasting time. We are in this together. We need to get through this together. Kita sama-sama kena bekerjasama, bergotong royong. So to me, together, only together, we will prevail. Only together, we will prevail, and we will prevail. And we need to work together. Boleh? Okay. Hasni, take care in Alustar. Sarah, take care.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Everybody, goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.